Hello and welcome to Legalese. What are we talking about today? We are talking about IgG, which is the Investigative Genetic Genealogy. It is going to be used in the Nancy Guthrie case. Where have we heard this before? We heard this in the Koberger case. Has it been played elsewhere? Probably. We probably haven't heard about it as much. But today we are going to talk a little bit about it and what does it mean? Well, investigative genetic genealogy means that your DNA that you left behind at a crime scene, once they try to sequence that DNA, if you need to know a little bit about how they do that, you can go to the Brian Walsh case where the forensic experts talked about how they get that DNA off of the materials that were left behind. There's a 4-step process. And then they try to match that in CODIS. And if they cannot find a match in CODIS, their next logical step is to go to IgG. How do they do that? They go to these labs that offer an IgG service. CC Moore has one in Florida. We know that the one that investigators used in the Koberger cases was the Ortham Labs in Texas. What do they use? They use consumer DNA databases, which are like GEDmatch or Ancestry.com, 23andMe, anybody who has given their DNA to these companies and have said, hey, I'd like to know more about my ancestry. Where did I come from? What happened, etc. When you gave your information over to these places, unfortunately, you may not have realized that they are going to use this for future crimes. So when I tell you not to crime, don't crime. Yes, your phones lie to you, but your DNA will give you away. It really, really will. You think that you're going to go ahead and get away with it? You're not. You make mistakes and you leave your DNA behind. This is the natural progression. So, first, I'd like to talk about kind of what the controversial topics are in this situation. It is causing a significant privacy, consent, and ethical issues, right? If you've given your DNA willingly to one of these companies, do you have a right to privacy? Well, did you read the terms and service agreement? Probably not. You just wanted to know, where did you come from? Where are your people from? Also, we're talking about implication of innocent relatives, right? So you've given your DNA to one of these companies. Currently, right now, your family is good. But is it possible that the future, that your great, 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 great grandson has committed a crime and your DNA is forever in this database, forever? And they commit a crime and they go through these genetic databases. Will they find a match? The answer is yes. Yes, they will. And there's nothing you can do about it because you've given your DNA willfully. The unregulated data handling. Where's this data going to go? What's going to happen for the future for this data? We don't know. So, they have the government run databases. What's going to happen if they decide to turn all of these over to the government? I mean, the government's already pretty much using it, right? What they call a function creep and trust. Concerns are rising over the potential for police to use this technology for minor rather than just violent crimes, and the risk it may discourage people from seeking medical genetic testing due to the fear that the data is being used by the police, which is absolutely right. All right, so let's talk about what kind of rights does this violate, right? Well, IgG could fall primarily under the Fourth Amendment regarding unreasonable searches and seizures with significant implications for privacy rights, right? The main debate centers on whether analyzing a person's DNA or the DNA of their relatives without a warrant violates the Fourth Amendment. Critics and legal scholars argue that IgG, particularly when used without strict warrant requirements, may constitute an unreasonable search. Well, one can argue this till the cows come home because, unfortunately, in Koberger's case, Judge Hippler, who was the judge presiding over Brian Koberger pled guilty to unaliving the 4 Idaho University students. He left a touch DNA on the knife sheath, on the button of the knife sheath, and his attorneys argued valiantly for him and trying to get this IgG information out. But the judge ruled the following. He said, in sum, defendant's argument finds no support under the law. Any privacy interest he claimed in this DNA was abandoned along with the sheath. When he left the sheath behind that had his DNA on it, he abandoned it, to which he claims no ownership or knowledge. So he claimed that, it wasn't his, right? Even if no such abandonment occurred, defendant has not demonstrated it is reasonable to recognize a privacy interest in DNA left at a crime scene. So, right there, that is already precedent, right? The judge made a ruling in this. What will happen moving forward? Well, each case is going to be different, right? Each case is going to be handled differently. Each case, how they received the DNA, where it came from, how they went about getting the uh, genetic information from whatever lab that they sent it to, right? And so I know of 2 labs that I just mentioned to you. I'm sure there are a couple more as well. And will more labs pop up? This is the wave of the future. And just as I mentioned, it might just be for violent crimes. But in the case of Nancy Guthrie, is this a violent crime? Thus far, we have no indication except for some blood droplets that were present at her front door. Was she violently taken? We don't know. And so are we stepping over the Fourth Amendment? Are we right up to the line, or have we just went right past it? So these are questions that we have to ask ourselves moving forward in the future. If you have already given your DNA, there isn't anything that you can do. You can't walk that back. Moving forward, I just tell you, don't crime, right? Do not do things that are going to put you and others in harm's way, because it will eventually come back to you. Technology is going to tell on you. Now your DNA is going to tell on you. Again, this is very important in the Nancy Guthrie case, right? We want to make sure we can find out what happened to her and where is she. And will we go to any lengths possible to find that answer? And the answer is yes. If somebody has been harmed, we want to make sure that they are okay. We want to know what happened to them. She was taken from her home, probably very much unwillingly, right? So, to what lengths are we as Americans going to give up our rights to help someone else? And these are the issues at stake. It is a lot. It's a lot to unpack, but I wanted to just sort of put that out there for everyone to think about for the future, because IgG is here to stay. And you're going to hear more and more and more cases where they use this to help solve crimes. So I hope that you liked this little investigative information session. If you liked what I had to say, make sure to like and follow, because more is coming. And comment. Let me know what you think about this potential service happening in the future. What do you think the potential pitfalls are? And have you already given your DNA? Did you do one of these genetic research companies? And are you fearful for what might happen to your future lineage? So I hope that you liked this. It was a great learning lesson, and make sure to like and follow for more